Good afternoon. My name is Susan Corbett. It's S-U-S-A-N-C-O-R-B-E-T-T. I live in West Columbia, South Carolina. I'm the chair of the South Carolina chapter of the Sierra Club, and I'm also chair of the National Sierra Club Nuclear Free Campaign. So I'm here today kind of wearing two hats, although in this situation they are kind of virtually one and the same. I want to thank you for holding these hearings and for being so patient and listening to all this. And I hate to start out by being negative, but I want to say that we want to take issue with this all of the above energy plan that the EPA seems to be endorsing with these carbon rules. I'll tell you why we're not in favor of the all of the above approach. All of the above has brought us mercury in our rivers and in our fish. It's brought us mountains of coal ash leaking arsenic into our water, and it's brought us unbreathable air. All of the above has brought us fracking and toxic stew of chemicals injected into our groundwater, methane in our drinking wells, and earthquakes where there never were earthquakes before. All of the above has brought us 80,000 tons of plutonium-laced nuclear waste with nowhere to go and no way to get rid of it. 7,000 tons of it in my own state, South Carolina. And I can tell you, all of you out there with nuclear power plants, if you think you're going to dump your nuclear waste in South Carolina, you better think again. It has also brought us radioactive tritium leaking into our rivers. Virtually every nuclear power plant in this country is leaking tritium into the groundwater. And it's brought us the continued use of 23 dangerous Fukushima-type Mark I reactors, one of them here in Georgia, and an oversight agency populated by industry insiders. That's what the all of the above approach is bringing us. And what these carbon rules seem to be indicating is that in all likelihood we're going to see more fracking for natural gas and more building of nuclear power plants, as well as the relicensing and continuing drawing out of these unsafe aging reactors. This is very concerning to South Carolina. Particularly, we have 7 reactors, 2 of them that have consistently been on the NRC most dangerous, most unsafe reactor list. This proposal effectively supports nuclear power and natural gas fracking without any mention or consideration to the environmental and economic effects of the result of promoting these things. Corporations are not going to reduce nuclear and natural gas if coal is completely shut down. It's just going to make gas and nukes more attractive, the baseload model, and especially if the EPA puts your finger on the scale and kind of creates advantages for these industries and seems to be promoting them. Nuclear and natural gas are not clean energies. I cannot believe that we're even considering thinking nuclear is clean. Yes, it may not be releasing carbon, but there is nothing clean about nuclear power. The EPA should not be characterizing nuclear as clean energy. You can say it's carbon low carbon energy. It is not clean. The fact that even as we speak today, the EPA is attempting to reduce the ionizing radiation protection rules to what we think are ridiculous levels. This should be a wake-up call to all of us who seem to not be understanding that the EPA's actions mean to the future of our energy policy and the political support for an increase in governmental sponsored nuclear power. Increasing nuclear power is going to mean more radiation in the environment, and a lowering of the standards means we're all going to get more doses of radiation. Now, I don't want you to interpret this as a statement that I'm supporting dirty coal and its debilitating health effects and its horrible effect and its ruining our climate. No, we know that carbon emissions must be cut. This is a warning to use caution in the direction of the travel of the EPA, as there appears to be no vision for the future. It could be said that you're being reactionary and actually supporting that which creates greater environmental debt down the road due to a very myopic approach to energy policy. A much better course in our mind would be just comprehensive energy policy supporting energy efficiency, sustainable, renewable, really clean energy power generation forms, not a lackluster, piecemeal environmental policy in which the cancellation of one poison will increase the use of other poisons. That sooner or later, you're going to be back here we're going to have to confront these poisons, along with all of the impacts on their health and our safety. The EPA's draft carbon pollution rule for the first time declares nuclear power a core element of the nation's climate policy and pushes states to preserve, expand, and subsidize nuclear reactors. You seem to be pressuring states to ensure that reactors that are now being built are completed, no matter what the cost. And I can tell you in South Carolina, we've had 5 rate hikes associated with VC Summer. We are 45% coal, 55% nuclear. We now pay the highest energy cost in the whole South because of our commitment to nuclear power. So you cannot be pushing this. It's too expensive. Overcommitment to nuclear power has ensured that our state has the highest cost. And in fact, the big energy users in our state have partnered with South Carolina in the latest challenge to the Public Service Commission about the cost overruns at VC Summer. So the energy users are very concerned about the cost of energy, and we have no solar. It's all nuclear. So you're encouraging states to subsidize this instead of opening the door to other things. I'm going to move on because I know we have time here. I'm just going to skip to the end here. I think you can see where I'm going here. I will mention you've also ignored the vast consumptive water needs of nuclear, which is going to be a big problem in a global warming world. So we want you to abandon your incentives and subsidies for nuclear power and instead focus on clean, renewable energy. You know, I'm old enough, and I'm not going to say how old, but I'm old enough to remember when President Kennedy said, we're going to go to the moon. We all go to the moon. And we went to the moon, and 7 years later, we created 1 million products just to go to the moon. We can do this. We can cut carbon. We can move away from fossil fuels.